And joining us now, one of the protesters, organizers, Rutgers students, Alex Uematsu. Since you're in college and you're thinking of the big things, the big ideas here, you're upset. Who do you think has a right to come to this country?
I believe that everyone should be able to come to the United States. We are always and have been and are still a nation of immigrants. There is no line. We can let in as many people as we choose in terms of policy, and it's, you know, there's artificial limits set on who can come in, who can't, from what countries and from what countries can't,
right,
whether they're skilled or not, and I feel like that is abandoning our heritage as a nation of immigrants.
So anybody who wants to come should come. Now, most of those people who do come, the low-skilled ones, are a net cost to taxpayers. They take more in services than they produce. You know the supply and you know the basic economic laws. So you believe then that taxpayers have a moral obligation to subsidize anybody who wants to come here?
I'm not sure where you're getting those figures from. I've heard different figures. Okay. I've heard studies that say that undocumented immigrants actually provide a net benefit to the economy. Okay. And a lot of these studies that claim that undocumented immigrants are a drain or you know, taking money away from taxpayers or something like that are using kind of biased statistical methods.
Well, you heard wrong, because it's not even close between education and infrastructure and healthcare, food subsidies, housing subsidies. It's literally not even close. Do you think that everyone else who lives in this country has a right to say, wait a second, we should be able to choose who comes here?
President-elect
right,
that has pledged to deport 11 million people from this country. And so that's what I would like to keep the focus on, is the tremendous human rights violation that would entail. A deportation force rounding up people who are undocumented, people who have been here for their entire lives. I
get it. No, I've heard it before. Alex, do you think people have a right to lock their doors? Or do you think they have an obligation to let anyone in who chooses to come? Well, you're saying that the United States has no right to prevent people who want to come here from coming here. And I'm just asking you, does the same apply to us as individuals? Do you have a right to keep people out who want to share your apartment with you?
I think that's not really a direct analogy. That obviously a nation state, a sovereign nation state, is very different from an individual.
Well, it belongs to its citizens, so they should be able to decide who comes in or out. Wouldn't you agree? Doesn't the country belong to its citizens?
I think that there are certain things.
I think you need to think this through, Alex.
Slavery was a democratic.
Right. Okay. Throw the slavery thing
I think you need to think this through, Alex.
Slavery was a democratic.
Right. Okay. Throw the slavery thing I think you need to think this through, Alex.
Slavery was a democratic.
Right. Okay. Throw the slavery thing
Let me just ask you this. I know that you're a liberal, a radical, lefty. I wonder if it ever occurs to you that you're maybe doing the bidding of business when you advocate for low-skilled workers to come here. Why do you think people support a lot of low-skilled labor in this country? Because it lowers wages. It lowers their labor costs. It makes them more money. Do you realize that you're part of that?
It would be absurd to suggest that we're pro-corporate or we're somehow helping corporations when our strategy is a massive boycott of key industries, as well as a general strike led by undocumented immigrants, regular immigrants and also allies.
Well, then it may surprise you to know that they're fully on your side with bringing the low-wage labor thing, because it benefits them too. So think about that overnight, Alex. It's great to see you. Thanks a lot for coming on.
What we care about is permanent protection, dignity, and respect.
Right.
Thank you.
I'm for that too. Thanks.